Joe, so the question is, are you willing to bridge the gap, or is it your way or the highway? Anyway, Biden seems intent on taking your earnings hostage. Now, the IRS, they just announced this week that they want to start tracking all of the tips that workers earn so that they can be taxed for it. So much for Biden's sacred promise not to raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000 a year. Remember, this is all part of Biden's so-called Inflation Reduction Act. Now, that just took effect on January 1st. By the way, what nobody seems to want to talk about in the media, that bill that went into place this year includes, let's see, the money to hire another 87,000 IRS agents. Here now with reaction is the host of Making Money on Fox Business, our friend Charles Payne. But it also includes a lot of taxes, hundreds of billions of dollars in new taxes that impact people that make less than $400,000 a year. Charles, correct me if I'm wrong, did this bill that went into effect January 1, did that put new taxes on coal and oil and natural gas? Did it put new taxes on people's pensions and retirements? Did it put new taxes, $250 billion, on corporations? And corporations don't pay taxes. They pass it on to we, the consumers. So didn't he already break the $400,000 a year mark that he laid out for himself?
Absolutely, Sean. $225 billion of corporate minimum tax. Again, we know where that money will have to come from. $1.2 billion coal tax. Think about the folks in that area who are going to get hammered. $6.5 billion natural gas tax, $12 billion crude oil tax, and all of this, it goes directly toward folks mostly, overwhelmingly, making less than $400,000 a year. And, you talk about this tip, looking for money in the tip area. This is what happens when you want big government. It's insidious. It's got to look under every pillow cushion. It must do it. This notion about taxing the rich, I get so sick of it, going after supposedly Jeff Bezos. No, the kind of government that they're trying to build. Think about this EV program, the electric vehicle program. They offer $30 billion to these manufacturers. It's already up to $140 billion. Where do they get this money from? So you go after tips. Somehow they say, you know what? Companies, employers that are supposed to report this tip income, we figured about a lot of them don't. They rounded it off to about $1.7 billion. They want that money. And so it's going to happen to people making the lowest incomes in this country. You know what the federal minimum wage is for tip workers? This is President Biden's always talking about raise the minimum wage. It's $2.13. You talk about folks who survive off of tips. They shouldn't be taxed on any of them. I really don't even. I always give a cash tip when I can. I hope they put it in their pocket.
Okay, yeah. I want to debunk this myth that is out there because he brought it up last night. Big oil, big pharma, billionaires don't pay their fair share. Okay, first of all, the top 1% of wage earners, they pay anywhere between 42 and 50% of income taxes in this country. The bottom 50% pays less than 2%. That's number one. And to get to his calculation that billionaires don't pay their fair share, doesn't that include the top 400 wealthiest Americans and the money that they have invested in stocks and the stock market? In other words, unrealized income that might be worth $100 a share today, but by the time they cash it out, maybe it's worth $1. So we don't really know what that income is until they cash it out. Isn't that true? So isn't that disingenuous and dishonest accounting?
It's disingenuous and it's dangerous. Imagine if this had gone into effect 2 years ago, and then we had the year we had last year. At one point, Jeff Bezos lost maybe $200 billion on paper. So 1 year he pays $100 billion in taxes, the next year he loses $200 billion. It's asinine. They say they're going after these folks, but people watching this show watch their retirement suffer. They're going to be the real victims.
And they'll pay the money for the new natural gas tax, coal tax, oil tax, taxes on their pensions, and watch corporations raise their rates. All right, Charles Payne, thank you.